As the Maricopa County election audit continues in Arizona, several counties in Michigan are facing similar inquiries. Former President Trump and some of his supporters still falsely claim that machines purchased from Dominion voting systems were compromised during the 2020 election. But both Dominion and Michigan's top election official are warning that these audits are illegal. President Biden won the Great Lakes state last November by just over 150,000 votes, flipping the state that voted for Mr. Trump in 2016. For more on this, let's bring in Lauren Gibbons. She's a political reporter for MLive.com. Welcome, Lauren. Thanks very much for being with us. So how does the audit happening in Arizona right now relate to Michigan?
So in Michigan, it's a little bit different in the sense that these counties that are currently discussing these things are a lot smaller. We've got Antrim County and Sheboygan County. So these counties, while they have been the focus of a lot of these campaigns and the interest in the audits, it wouldn't sway the election even if any of these claims were to be proven. Although there has been no evidence at this point, there's been audits. A statewide audit of the election did find that the results were accurate. But yeah, I would say that in Michigan, this is a smaller scale, but definitely one that has come up quite a bit in the national efforts to challenge the election results.
And who exactly is calling for these audits and why?
You see a lot of supporters of President Donald Trump. This is not the first time that these sorts of campaigns have come up in Michigan ever since the November election. Antrim County in particular, where there was initially a mistake that was corrected, has been brought forward as an example among these folks that there's perhaps a claim of fraud. As I said, none of those claims have panned out, but this is the latest effort in a series of campaigns by Trump supporters in Michigan and throughout the country to place focus on Michigan's election results.
Well, Dominion Voting Systems has had some success in combating baseless attacks by officials and some media organizations. How is Dominion fighting against their machines being used in audits?
Yes, so Dominion in Michigan has testified before the state legislature. They've reached out to clerks in the state to let them know that these audits would compromise, in fact, the security of these systems. They testified to the accuracy of the systems, and they've continued to challenge these claims made at both the national level and here at the state level in Michigan.
Well, what kind of impact could these audits have on the future elections in the state of Michigan and nationwide?
I think the audits could have impact because, of course, the fact that we're still having this conversation, both in Michigan and nationally, does potentially harm the democratic effort and voting processes. The Secretary of State and other elections officials have since November said that these election results are accurate, but the fact that there's still these ongoing questions and these efforts to have these third-party audits of election results does potentially cause concern for Michigan and the nation in terms of, do people trust the results?
All right, Lauren Gibbons for us. Lauren, thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.